Well, here we are, still in the summer of 1717. This is video 75, I believe. Yes, I think it is 75. I'm losing track. There's so many of them now. I'm losing track. That was me moving whatever troops I got in France over to Marseille to try and defend it as quickly as we can with whatever resources that we've got available. I will be doing the same with any infantry that I've got spare in France. If you remember, I'm not too worried about a rebellion in France. I'm hoping that I've got enough people to be able to cope with it, of course, but I shall be moving any troops that I've got spare up there, regardless of the fact that it affects taxation and the settlement of Paris itself, in order to defend Marseille. Then what I'll do is use the money that I've raised from the ships so far to buy any extra troops that I can. Do you remember I said I needed a big hit, really? It's almost like a bank robbery, isn't it, really? You know, sort of 3 fourth rates I took in order to fund this war. That's the money that I'll be spending now in order to settle Paris. So first of all, I want to put enough troops in there to be able to handle a rebellion. You'll possibly remember on turn end that there was a Spanish fleet. I'm not sure how many were in it, but it was off to the Americas, going from Europe. It's quite close to my own fleets, so that's going to be a nice target for us as well. I just have to hope it's a galleon, because that's worth about 2,000 to us as well. So we are, if you remember, trying to fund this war by our piracy, really, I suppose, by trading the ships that we take. You can see that we're building up dragoons in Paris. That helps to settle the population. Once I've improved the gardens that you can see, the pleasure gardens, over to just to the north of Paris there. Once I've got the churches built, that's just to the south there, and also off to the east of Paris, then I should be able to start settling the population. But only once I've handled the rebellion that's on there. Okay, just a quick check over to the Americas as well. What I'm looking for is fleets, any fleets that I can get hold of, and also any way that I can bring people, bring various towns and cities into the taxation, so that I can fund this war in any way that I possibly can. Just having a quick check down now to see which ones are red. In other words, which ones are being taxed too high. There's only France, I don't know if you noticed in there, and that's the meagre income that I'm going to be due next year. You'll remember that I've begged, stolen, borrowed, done everything I can for diplomacy in order to get trade with any nation possible now that I've got Marseille. So I do have to defend Marseille, of course, and as well as defending Marseille, I also need to make sure that I look after Paris so it's got enough people in it to fend off a rebellion, and also I need to raise as much cash as I can through my ship actions. Now this is halfway through the sea battle. I'm not showing you the deployment because we've already done that. It's just a line. My troops are getting quite depleted now. My ships are getting quite damaged. There've been a few encounters when I haven't repaired them because I haven't been able to afford to. And if you remember, I'm quite prepared now to lose some ships because they're costing me money to maintain anyway. Some of these ships are costing me 200 a turn. If I lose a couple of them, I'm 400 a turn better off. My navy's becoming outdated now. I've got brigs and 6 rates. 6 rates aren't too bad, but brigs really are definitely seeing the end of their day. 6 rates are as well, really. I should be looking now towards ships of the line, 4th rates and 5th rates, and that's what my enemies will be having. So this isn't the kind of navy that's going to be able to take on a properly organised foreign navy like certainly not the British anyway, probably not the Spanish either. So I do need to be looking into getting rid of some of these poorer ships and developing some better ones. I won't be able to do that yet, of course, until the income improves from France. Okay, well, 1 or 2 close-ups of the vessels there, because there's plenty of time before we get up there into the action, and you'll notice it's a Spanish galleon that we're going against. Reminds me a bit of hunting for whales, this, because it's a nice, big, fat, juicy galleon. The problem is it's absolutely laden with 18, possibly 24-pounder guns. They have a lot of hitting capacity, and there are a lot of guns firing. And like I say, my ships are firing with much less guns and have already suffered some hull damage. Okay, getting closer now. Okay, you notice he's going to get the first shot in there. That doesn't really matter to me. I'm turning as quickly as possible there so that I can get a shot in as soon as possible before he completely blows me out of the water, which has been known to happen. Okay, having turned round and got that shot in, we're now going to try and curl round him as quickly as we can. You notice the wind is coming directly from the north to the south, and we're sort of northward bound, so we should really be tacking up this wind, and it's difficult to do that when the enemy is so close by, I'm afraid. Already the second ship there has taken a hit, as you'll notice, and it's wavering. In fact, it looks like it's out of it already and it's routing. This is what happens when you take hull damaged ships with not enough guns to defend themselves into action against these massive Spanish galleons. There are racing galleons as well, by the way, so don't just be put off by the word galleon. It's just the word galleon on its own that's enough to put you off. The racing galleons are much smaller. Okay. He seems absolutely determined, doesn't he, to go level with that ship. Oh, and there you go. Now you can see why. That hasn't done him any favours. Looks like he's blown up the flagship there, because that's the skull coming down on the left-hand side. It looks like the damage that I suffered was enough to damage him as well. He's on fire, would you believe? What I don't want to happen is for him to blow up or sink before I get to him, because that would have been a disaster. Okay, so now it's all about catching up with him as quickly as we possibly can. One advantage of having the smaller ships, obviously, is that they go quicker, and he is routing. It has been known, by the way, for routing ships to suddenly turn round and not route anymore. So you do have to watch for that one. Okay, so here we go, trying to catch up with him. You see he managed to go in against only the first two ships there, so none of the rest of my fleet has even got into action. Just looking where the sloop is, see if it's near enough to be able to chase that galleon. I'm not sure it is, and it seems to be approaching right to the edge there of the field of battle, or the area of battle. We are catching them though. I think you'll notice we are getting closer and closer. We're arming these, as you'll notice, with chain shot. The idea is that we'll take some hits, we'll give some hits rather to his sails. Making some holes in his sails is going to slow him down. So just sort of twist and turn a little bit so that we can get a couple of shots in against those sails, just to slow him down a bit. That should enable us to catch up with him just that little bit quicker. So the amount that we lost by twisting and turning should be made up for by the slowdown of his ship. Oh, this is the fun of the Age of Sail. We're almost there, we're almost caught up with him now. Okay, he's given me a close victory there. Obviously if I was to click that, it would simply end the battle, and he would rout from the field. I'd have lost, was it one or two ships, I'm not sure, and he would have escaped, and I'd have no prize money. So we fought it to the end. All we had to do was get up close to him, of course, put the grappling hooks in, board him, and that's the end of the Spanish Galleon. We'll get nearly 2,000 into our coffers. So having a quick look at the entrance there into Marseille. We've got some pretty big hitting ships down there, so I don't think we're going to be able to take those on. So I'm going to choose to raid the trade route. It's a very good trade route, it's worth a lot of money to him, so we'll stand here for a bit and see what happens. It's all a gamble. I'm leaving the English Channel completely unprotected now, just doing anything that we can to earn as much money as we can, even though we lose one or two ships along the way and we don't have the opportunity to replenish them. This is Marseille. Need to get the foot troops in there as soon as possible. We might have to save that for the next video.